why did you decide to even sign up for that workshop?
I'm horrible with task management. So I see in your corner the Patrick Lencioni book, right? So like
Yep.
we're big on the widgets here at our company. So my widgets are ING. I'm an inventor and a galvanizer, which has always been my strength as a senior super, or in my role now as the field ops manager, right?
Yeah.
What I didn't do well on was like the enablement and tenacity, like when I was like a green super. Like I struggled the most as like a basic super, and I didn't start flourishing until I had a super below me doing those tasks, Ryan, like seeing how those widgets go together. And also I have ADHD, just straight up, right? So I was like, how I was like, who's out there doing something in construction, which is a unique industry because the tasks change and they're not the same, right? So for me, what grasped me was, okay, I know Jesse's doing this in the right industry I care about and I'm passionate about. And he's talking about time management. And a lot of stuff I hear or read about doesn't work for construction because we're so fluid in what we do. So
Yeah.
that's why I did it. I was like, I wanted to see somebody who is in the arena already
Yeah.
doing it differently, because people don't realize that you can't do the same thing as you do like if you're working at a bank, or at a investment firm or a car lot. You can't do the same task management. So that's what intrigued me, was somebody in the arena that I was already in, and somebody I trusted too. So
Nice. Nice. Okay. So you were coming in with that mindset
yeah,
of like, okay, it's like, because there's a lot of stuff out there,
yeah,
but you're right. Like the construction environment, our days are sometimes they're great, but
hmm,
more often than not, they're a freaking nightmare. And you just got to respond to things all the
yeah,
time,
yeah,
different, or never in the same place for an extended period of time, like the whole deal. So that was your thinking, okay, let me find something from
uh-huh,
somebody that's in the industry that'll work for
yeah,
construction. And so
yeah.
you came in with that expectation, and then you sat through 4 hours. Like, did it make sense? How long did it take for you to say, okay, like, yeah, there's some stuff here that I could use?
So the initial thing, and this is what I actually talked to my guys about a lot. The thing that hit me immediately was how you took your three buckets and a different tool for each bucket. And people that are not know the buckets, right? But talk about long-term vision, task management for a short time, and then your daily task. What I found was immediately when I saw you break them up into different tools, now all your tools were digital. I
Right.
didn't take mine. Mine are some digital, some paper, because I like paper. But what I found is switching different tools and different mindset helped me to basically I wasn't it was easier to code switch. And what
Yes.
I found was before, like that was the first thing that hit me when you did the thing. I was like, wait a minute. So you had Mural, you had Trello, right? And I'm watching this, and then your Outlook, and I'm like, wait a minute, my brain's clicking right here. So that's when I like really started getting jazzed about it during the class, was when I saw the three different tools and how they related, but kept
Yeah.
them separate. So that was like, I think that was like my big, like that was like the click on moment for me.
Oh, dude, I love that.
Yeah, yeah,
Because for me, like, that was when, well, when I was, that's the way I
yeah,
managed myself. And it wasn't until I separated, and it was just on accident.
yeah,
My future planning, right? I was
yes,
doing my mural stuff, and I noticed, like, I was like, oh, I planned the whole quarter. And this was years ago. It's like,
yeah,
how did I do that? Like, I've never been able to do that, because then I was like, oh, I know why. Because when I start future planning, before I even finish, before I get to like the end of the month, I'm in my
yeah,
calendar. And
yeah,
then when I'm in my calendar, I'm like, well, shit, I could do some of that right now. And you nailed it. It was the code switching that was
yes,
happening
yeah.
that kept me from like doing that part.
Yeah, for me it was huge, right? Because like, so what I did, what my system is now, right, is I have the biggest journal. It's a full 8.5 by 11 inch like journal, right? That's my
Yes.
brain dumping. That's like
Yeah.
my big show. So when I write in there, it's not all focused thoughts. It's like, hey, this is a financial goal I have for myself. Here's all the things that may happen, and I can just resonate in that and let that kind of soak. Okay, what is it? And then from there, I can take it and put it into my what I. So I basically use a journal system, right? And one side is like my daily journal, and the other side is like my task for the day.
Yep.
And so instead of Trello, so I use that, right? And then Outlook as my third one. So I did so having the different things, it helped me go, okay. And honestly, for somebody with ADHD, like I'm always trying to go get that done, and
Yeah.
it slowed me down. It said, wait, here's a big dream, but I'm only going to take 4 of the things out of this dream and only put 4 this week. Because if I can work on 4 of these this week, I can almost like shut my brain off to the ones in my big book.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think for me
Yes.
that was kind of like the freedom to code switch safely and to be able to pull tasks. Before I was like, I'd write all that stuff in the big book into one thing, into one program, like all my tasks on Outlook, and I'd be like, I was too overwhelmed. I didn't know where to start. You know, I was like,
I'm never gonna finish.
And then I'd give up, and I would literally just, I'm gonna do a different tool because this tool's already messed up for me. It doesn't work, right? But it wasn't the tool that was messed up. It was my mindset.
Yeah.
So I think those were the big ones, right? So I do 2 paper, one digital, right? Just because again, I'm a huge paper guy, but it's the same thing. Like my big book stays at home. I don't even bring that with me because that's my vision, my future. Like if I bring it with me, I'm gonna be tempted. You know, so that stays at home, like on my dresser. My daily book, which is my task management, you know, like your Trello, and then also my journal. I like the fact that I can task and say, hey, what worked, what didn't. So my daily, you know, it's my spiritual journal, my life journal, right? It's all there, 2 pages. And then for my actual, like, wake up in the morning, what am I doing today? Boom, Outlook's right there. All those things placed in there with like mindsets, like, hey, today I need to do some brain dumping for my superintendent training. Cool. 2-hour task in Outlook. You know, and doing that. So like, I'm actually even working with because we have coaches too here at Summer. We have a development coaches, you know, for our company that we outsource. And that's exactly what we're working on now. It's like we're literally doing the thing you taught, and that's kind of like my weekly coaching sessions is like making sure I implement that. So that's kind of, I mean, I love that. It was like that was, I think, the best part of the sessions for me.
Dude, okay, thank you, because I believe 100% that it's not the tools, right? And naturally we'll get focused on the tools. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. Like it's the thinking. Separate your thinking, the medium that you do the thinking on, that like make it work for you. And that's what you're doing, which I absolutely freaking love.
Yeah. Some of my guys can't, like some of my guys are like my Gen Z guys, they're all digital. And what I tell them, I say, hey man, if you're all digital, that's great, but use a different tool. Because if you don't, you're going to get stuck, right? So I try to encourage them, like, because I tell, you know, for a while, I was actually trying to say, hey man, at least have one paper because psychology tells this. And I was like, what am I doing? Why am I trying to pigeonhole them into what I feel? I was like, why am I trying to pick? Like, for me, my brain has to be writing stuff down, but for them, it's not fair to force a process on them. So I said, hey, I don't care if you go all digital, but there is one caveat that I will force: different. They got to be different, you know.